Mazzy here, whack-a-mole time. I love these. I love to discover records I've purchased and acquired over the last 50 years. So, you ready? 5 random records. In the background I have just a little various Woody Allen soundtrack collection, commencing with Dooley Wilson as time goes by, actually better known from Casablanca. Play it, Sam. If you can hear that, it's in the other room or the wall. Here we go. Okay. Ow. See, watch as the box sets fall off. I'm not going to pick that one, Johnny Cash. Folsom Prison Box, I already kind of picked that. So, one. Let's see. Two. 3. 4. 5. Okay. Wow. Wow. Literally. Wow. Moby Grape. Wow. Their second album didn't get as much acclaim as their first album on Columbia after the Columbia Records debacle of debacle. If you know the first album, the great first Moby Grape album, there was a big party and release, and Columbia overzealously released 5, count 'em, 5 singles at once to really do a promotion, and so radio stations had no idea what to pick. So it's somewhat of a pretty much of a flop, but obviously we all know Moby Grape. But Omaha should have been the first single, and then maybe 805 to get mellow and all that. But Wow was their second album. This album has really become a cult classic beyond after the first one. It was never his favorite. It's a little more country soul-y than some of the others, a little more funky, if you could say that. Not as psychedelic. Great painting on the cover, right? Designed by Bob Cato. I don't know who did the painting, but produced by David Rubinson, who was a Columbia staff producer, but also ended up buying the Columbia recording studio. Columbia had recording studios in San Francisco on Folsom Street. And in the 70s, David Rubinson, late 70s, I believe, purchased it from Columbia and turned it into what was known as the Automat, great recording studio. But let me show you about this. This album came packed with a second album called Grape Jam. And this was sort of the bonus album that was free in a way. But this had the main songs. What was kind of fun, at the end of side 1, you'd have to get up and change your record player to 78 RPM, because the last track on side 1 is called Just Like Gene Autry, a Foxtrot, written by Skip Spence, the infamous elusive Skip Spence. And the introduction is Arthur Godfrey, who also plays on banjo and ukulele. Arthur Godfrey was an old-time singer, radio host, if you don't know it, for you youngsters out there. I love this. Murder in My Heart for the Judge is a great song. Bitter Wind, 3/4, Motorcycle Irene, Miller's Blues. He is gorgeous. So again, this record, after the initial surprise, thinking it would be really more rock and roll psychedelic like the first Moby Grape. You know, in a way, the first Moby Grape's not really a psychedelic record, is it? It's more kind of a rockin' record. But this record got a lot of heat. Again, David Rubinson produced it, and it also has Mike Bloomfield and Al Cooper jamming. It's really a jam session. So in a way, it's sort of a not far after or during the time after Super Session, so it had that kind of loose jammy thing. So it's really underrated. And the other thing, a little trivia, I think I spoke about this way back in the VC on the San Francisco post I might have made, but I'm sure a lot of you newbies who have just been following me the last few months might not know this. The last cut on this album is called The Lake, and it says The Lake, lyrics by Michael Hayworth, and you hear the name Michael Hayworth at the end. Well, back in the day, in was it 1968, KFRC, which was one of the two top local AM radio stations in San Francisco, had a contest, a lyric writing contest, and whoever wins, their lyrics would be on the next Moby Grape record. I actually entered, so I was 14 years old, give or take, 13, 14. I don't remember what I wrote. I wish I kept it, but it's sort of a psychedelic, ambient, not even a jam. It's not even musical. It's more avant-garde. So it ends the album really coolly, and it's a spoken word type of thing, but called The Lake. And again, it's the result of a local radio station lyric contest. Moby Grape, you know? That's the... used to be the old answer to the joke, what's purple and lives in Israel? Moby Grape. Makes no sense, doesn't it? Kind of like Digital Gramophone. Okay. Speaking about poets and poetry, Jim Carroll, Catholic girl. I saw him once in San Francisco at the, where did I see him? Up on Upper Grant Street in North Beach area, the sort of the beat area. I mean, back in the 50s, early 60s, it was the beat poet, Allen Ginsberg, Lawrence Ferlinghetti, near City Lights Books, Tosca, all the great Italian cafes. But Savoy Tivoli had a run in the 80s. They had shows in the back room, and it didn't last long, unfortunately, because of neighbors' complaints about loud rock and roll. But I saw great shows. I saw Jim Carroll there. I saw Southside Johnny. I saw Robert Palmer. And it was just a dinner kind of club, theater, bar. Really cool, not very big. But anyway, Jim Carroll, you might know because he wrote the book, the classic semi-underground, which is obviously not so underground anymore, Basketball Diaries, a movie made with Leonardo DiCaprio. And great kind of punky, new wavy album. And the hit was the FM hit Catholic Boy. But if you see this record, it's on Atco Records, 1980. Really great album. An album of its time. Unfortunately, he's gone now. He made a second album, I believe. I don't have the second one. Of course, every time I do these videos and I pull things out, I think, God, now I got to find that other, in this case, Jim Carroll record. So Jim Carroll. An original Liberty, pristine copy again. I do keep my records well taken care of. The Idle Race. Idle Race, you know this guy probably. Idle Race, Jeff Lynn, who later would join The Move and then Electric Light Orchestra. You like to see labels. Again, perfectly pristine. Birthday Party was, again, very Beatlesque, pop, psychedelic. There is a really good, let's see here, reissue. This was a reissue, I don't know if it was Record Store Day, but Parlophone did a reissue of the album. The Birthday Party? Yeah, happy birthday. Interesting. And I don't know the history if this was the original cover in the UK. One of you, some of you UK followers may be able to tell me this. But this was a Record Store Day version of the record that came out a few years ago, or just a reissue. I don't remember if it was Record Store Day. On Parlophone 2014. But if you like psychedelic pop and you like Jeff Lynne's voice early on, really good record. Idle Race. EJ, Elton John. Elton John, Brown Dirt Cowboy. One of my favorites, maybe my last favorite, really favorite record of him. Someone Saves My Life Tonight has, to me, one of the best ever pop drum recordings of anything. Every time I play that one song, I just blast it because there's a Gus Dudgeon who produced these records for Elton. Yeah, it just has a way of recording Nigel Olsson's drums. And actually, I have Nigel Olsson's one solo album he did. I keep wanting to go pull stuff, but it takes too long. Signed copy at Tower Records. My buddy Coleman got it for me when he worked at Tower, Columbus and Bay in San Francisco. You know this record, Better Off Dead, is really great, has a great sound. I mean, Gus Dudgeon, amazing producer, so whatever you say about Elton John or not, and I'm actually a fan of the movie Rocket Man as a musical. Forget the bio part of it, but, you know, a modern day version of Singing in the Rain, I know you can't compare it to that, but it's that type of thing. So fantasy-oriented, semi-autobiographical or biographical of Elton. But what a beautiful album package. Of course, it has the book, I believe. Yeah. What is this? Oh, you can send away for posters and T-shirts and all kinds of goodies, right? There you go. Okay, Elton John. And lastly, number 5, from San Francisco, Bay Area, San Francisco, Mark Kozlak and Red House Painters. Red House Painters is probably play the slowest music of any band I've ever really heard ongoing. Some people fall asleep to it. I love it, ethereal. I used to see them perform live in San Francisco a lot during the 90s. And Mark, I just heard he just put out a record. There's a lot of collaborations now. He did a really kind of fun Christmas album last year. But again, his stuff is very low, dirgy. If you ever saw the musical movie, Almost Famous, Cameron Crowe film, he plays a bit part in it. He plays the bass player in the fictional band in the movie. I don't even know if he has any speaking parts, very few. But very dirge-like, and this is a called "Songs for a Blue Guitar." Came out originally in 1996. And I remember having the CD. I didn't have obviously the vinyl till a few years ago, till 4 or 5 years ago, but I had the CD probably for 3 or 4 months. And one day I put it on, and I'm listening to it, and there's a long song that goes on for 10, 15 minutes. And it's the first time after all these listens, you know how you put music on sometimes as an ambient background thing? I realized it was a cover of Silly Love Songs of Paul McCartney. I did not recognize it all throughout the other versions of it, but these guys are personal favorites. Of course, when you watch my Whack-A-Moles and everything else, I say that a lot. I just love music. All this music is amazing. In fact, I want to showcase, since this is the last one, a great box set 4AD put out several years ago. Because I know some of you love to see box sets, and I love the art direction in this box set as well as the music. I had these on CD forever, or since their initial. It has the 4 albums: Down Colorful Hill, Red House Painters, and Ocean Beach. 4AD limited edition. But I just think the artwork, and it might be Vaughn Oliver. I think Vaughn Oliver was the guy, the designer, that designed a lot of the 4AD covers. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? You know, you can check out if you're not interested in this. This is the last one, but I think almost like Woody Allen, Cyclone, Coney Island, Annie Hall thing. Gorgeous, gorgeous. artsy. Ocean Beach. Ocean Beach is the name of the beach area in San Francisco, down by the Cliff House. If you've ever visited San Francisco and drove at the end of Golden Gate Park onto the Great Highway, when I was a kid, there used to be an amusement park on there with the Laughing Sal, which is with this kind of puppet mannequin Laughing Sal at the foot of the Fun House in San Francisco. And as a kid, that scared the friggin' daylights out of you. But roller coaster, Fun House was the greatest thing. If you know, there's an ice cream treat called the It's It, I-T-S, apostrophes. It's It. It was invented on Ocean Beach by Whitney, who was the, the land baron, or the kind of real estate mogul, I don't know, out of the Great Highway. Before my time, again, it wasn't torn down until the early 70s. But as a kid, we'd go to the amusement park there. By the time I was a kid and I was going there, it was kind of funky, kind of sleazy. It had paint art, the wheels of paint art. But the It's It was invented there, that ice cream sandwich that you can get today. Cookies with a vanilla ice cream with chocolate over. Now there are many flavors. Now they're made down the peninsula in Redwood City, California. See, you come to Mazzy's Whack-A-Mole, you'll learn about music, but you'll learn about the culture and edibles and things of San Francisco, because that's one of my, obviously, I love San Francisco still, even though I'm not there anymore. But hey, I lasted 50 years in the city. Actually more than that, but for 60 years in the Bay Area, 50 years in San Francisco itself. Anyway, there you go. I'm pontificating on San Francisco. I can't have enough of San Francisco. My city is gone in a way, but still a beautiful city, great place to visit. It's just too damn fucking expensive now. It's really a shame that the artists can't live there anymore. But you know, the story we're hearing in all these great cities, especially the West Coast cities, Portland, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Hey, I can vent a little bit. Okay, this one's just called self-titled. I had 2 self-titled albums, Red House Painter and 4AD again. All these are the same color, that kind of brownish gold vinyl. So I don't need to show them all. It's kind of repetitive. I think this is going on way too long anyway. And then Down Colorful Hill. Beautiful photography. Beautiful art direction. Again, as I said, it's got to be Von Oliver. Is there a book? And if I'm getting this wrong, there's a chance I'm getting this wrong. Let's see. I can look in this one. This probably says who it is. Bear with me, okay? What else do you have to do? Photography. Recorded San Francisco studio. Art direction by, oh, this one's Paul. Okay, well, V23. So V23 was Von Oliver's design firm. So he was the sort of the art director or creative director on the vision of 4AD Records, and that'd be a good video to do on Von Oliver's artwork. But anyway, again, I went on too long, but thanks for watching. This was a Whack-A-Mole. This is actually a personal favorite. You know, I get in these Whack-A-Moles, sometimes it's the same old rubbish, but every once in a while you pick some things that are a little off kilter, offbeat here. But enjoy the music. Thanks for watching. Mazzy loves you. Bye, VC.